Now we join Murray Walker and Martin Brundle with all the news and driver interviews, hot from the burning rubber of the tracks. The Formula One Grand Prix Australia, the qualifying laps.
One of the Jordans. Hello, and there's a big bang. For Michael Schumacher, who exits the chicane for the 53rd and last time to win the 2000 Japanese Grand Prix and the World Championship for the third time.
I'm simply born to race, and it's a natural ability I have to put the car on the limit and enjoy it.
Now there's fresh opposition for the top man. Colombian Montoya in the Williams. The Brazilian Bernoldi at Arrows. The raw Raikkonen, the Finn, just 21 at Sauber. Marquez returning at Minardi alongside the Spaniard Alonso. All hungry and very keen to impress. Yes, it's a brand new Formula One season here on ITV. The first qualifying session is just over half an hour away. We have a beautiful day in Melbourne, Australia. And hello there, welcome to Albert Park. It is 22 degrees and rising here. I'm really sorry about that for all of you shivering back home, but listen, very well done indeed for getting up or staying up to join us at this hour of the night. You lot out there really are the hardcore Formula One fans. Now, this 2001 season is really tinged with a bit of sadness because at the end of it all, we say farewell to Murray Walker. But believe me, Murray is huge here in Australia. They hear all his commentaries, and the City of Melbourne and the Grand Prix organisers, well, they've been giving him the red carpet treatment ever since he touched down. Well, first time on the track for everybody yesterday, and let's take a look and get your views on what happened to Michael Schumacher. What a spin this is.
It just looked like he lost it under braking, lost the rear end, car broke sideways, then it hit that gravel while the car was sideways and flipped him over. Shook him up, but, you know, don't underestimate that guy.
Yeah, and they repaired the car, he got back in it again. Tony, what are your feelings about that accident?
Well, representation was made by Ferrari to the circuit and to the FAA about the gravel. They felt that it was uneven and it should be flat at least or inclined because the car appeared to dig in and go over.
Let's just look ahead to the calendar for the rest of the season, shall we? Pretty much unchanged. Malaysia next, and then it's Brazil. The British Grand Prix, well, thankfully, that is moved back to mid-July. Very much the same venues as last year. 17 races in all. Bit of a 3-week holiday in August. And Japan, that is going to be Murray's farewell commentary. Your winter Formula One famine is just about over. It is the first qualifying session of the new F1 season. You are back with ITV Sport at Albert Park, Melbourne, on a beautiful autumn day. A lot of attention on the Minardi team today, owned by the Australian Paul Stoddart. They got 80,000 plus here yesterday, and there are close to 100,000 around Albert Park, this superb venue, to see if the McLarens can end their miserable recent run here in Australia. Okay, enough from me. Let's join Martin Brundle and say a very good afternoon to Murray Walker.
Good afternoon, everybody, from Melbourne, Australia. The new cars have been designed, built and tested. The new drivers, engines and tyre suppliers are here and ready to go. And this is where Formula One 2001 starts. And what a fantastic morning we've had already today. Remember, these are new cars. They've got different tyres, different engines, but yet this morning 0.4 of a second covered the first 4 And they included the McLaren of David Coulthard, who was fastest, Michael Schumacher, who would have been fastest but for that brake grabbing problem he had. Mika Hakkinen was third, and then the two Jordan Hondas of Heinz-Harald Frentzen and Jarno Trulli. 0.6 of a second covered those, but only half a second covered the next 5. It's going to be terrific, Martin.
I think the smart money is probably on Michael Schumacher at the moment for pole. He lost the final part of the session with what I think was probably a wheel bearing problem on the Ferrari. They're very cagey about it, and I think a lot of teams are struggling to cool the brakes down. It's always very, very high brake temperatures, high brake wear. Remember Frentzen crashing out of the lead here 2 or 3 years back, having run out of brakes completely. But Schumacher appears to be very fast, even though he was in a McLaren sandwich at the end of the final practice session this morning. Some 3 seconds faster than last year's pole position. The track is quite a bit warmer, but I'm expecting them to be well into the 1 minute 27s today, Murray. And it's really should really be silver and red cars in the first 4 positions. Remember last year it was an all silver front row. Barrichello losing a lot of time with that engine failure. He's got a tough afternoon ahead of him.
Well,